My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. It is Monday, January 31st, 2022, and what I captured on video is the ongoing documentation of what is not possibly the sun, and what I captured on video at state facilitating venue, the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, which is an establishment of criminal activity. That is all that every venue is where the government's engaging in this surveillance and what is terrorism, as this is the condition of the demon-possessed that are under what is that which is not the actual sun as we know it. This light source is captured directly above me at the Ovitt Family Community Library, where I'm at the front portion of the library that faces the McCarthy construction site, where those demons identified under the company name as McCarthy, whose license plates I have also recited on my podcast before. They've been documented, and the company name itself is sufficient for any ordinary target individual that's documenting their being placed under surveillance and the engagement in the elements and how the entity is engaging in those elements through any company name such as McCarthy. So for purposes of recalling, though, I have specifically documented McCarthy individually as well. But like I said, McCarthy is no less in relevant position, creating what is amplified audible activity in this video, doing so under what is the fake sun that is directly over me at the Ovitt Family Community Library at 9:57 a.m. And if you recall my documentation 24 hours ago, I remain at the Starbucks located at 111 North Vineyard Avenue at the intersection of Vineyard and Holt Boulevard, which I show upon arrival, where you see the demons of the Ontario Police Department that are crossing path while the fake sun is making a turn, while the vehicle is making a turn. All of this is in sync as she's driving east on Holt Boulevard, and this is around 8:30 in the morning. I show you, and this is where the state's fake sun remains. At 9:57 a.m. I remain at that location, and so you have the light source that is placed in what is a grand departure from that location at Vineyard and Holt Boulevard, and this is also confirmed as I get on the bus at a later time than what I did, for example, on January 22nd, 2022. And I also proceeded to Pomona at a later time than what I did on January 27th, 2022. And while I'm on the Omnitrans bus, and this is what I recited in this video so that you recall what is the impossibility of my being able to capture this light source in the central position over my head at this current location today where I am versus where I was 24 hours ago. And again, as I remain at that Starbucks, which is not in the same even direction where I'm facing, capturing this light source that remains at the Starbucks, you have what is also when I get on the bus of the Omnitrans, who, by the way, is crossing path while I'm capturing this video at 9:57. That is the Omnitrans westbound that is crossing path at 9:57 a.m. Going west on Holt Boulevard. And yesterday, while I'm on the Omnitrans bus at a later hour going to Pomona, I am showing what is the light source that is not possibly the sun, while I'm facing south, showing you the light source moving over the property of the B&G Plaza, keeping in alignment with me. And I was thorough enough to show you what is the exact same placements of that light source in alignment with me as I go to Pomona at a later time, where the state is already documented maintaining a fake sun over me, as on January 27th, I was already en route. I was actually remaining at the Pomona Transit Center, and then got on the bus and came back to Ontario, returned to the Ovitt Family Community Library, whereas yesterday I showed you at a later time I go to that Pomona Transit Center, remain there, capture video at 11:50 a.m., a heavily documented specific time for purposes of showing what is the impossibility of the maintenance of what is supposedly the sun remaining over me, regardless of what city or location that I am or remain. And you have what is the state's fake sun that is at the at the Ovid Family Community Library at 215 East C Street at 9:57 a.m., whereas I remain at Starbucks. And I also showed again, as I'm on the bus yesterday at a later time, and I am facing south, showing you B&G Plaza, the Ovid Family Community Library, I would be facing north. If that was the actual sun, in other words, I would not be able to capture that light source over the B&G Plaza. And let me be clear, this is also recalling the documentation of the demons on the Ontario Police Department, where I use that same time frame. This is 9:51 a.m. where I'm at the Ontario Fire Department, and I'm capturing the demon in the Ontario Police Department vehicle who was crossing path on Sultana Avenue. And I'm reminding you about the placement of the state's fake sun above the building of the Ovid Family Community Library, and I even pointed it out in that video. If that was the actual sun while I'm standing at Sultana, facing southeast, I would not be able to capture that light source that is documented as a matter of record above the building of the Ovid Family Community Library. This is also that documentation that coexists with what I captured today at 9:57 a.m. On this particular day where I'm at the Ontario Fire Department, if you recall, I remain in the parking lot of the College of Law, University of Laverne, where the Ontario police are engaged in surveillance, and the fake sun is over me in that parking lot. And I continue to point out how the light source is nowhere in that direction. It remains over my head, and it does so as I continue to walk toward, again, at a later time, 9:57 a.m. today. It's present over me at an earlier time than it was on that particular day, where I reminded you as a matter of understanding what is stalking with the fake sun, what is not possibly the sun, as I'm documenting the maintenance of a light source over me for purposes of what is the criminal placement of surveillance by a government in concert with the people of the state. And that conduct in and of itself of stalking with light is demonic. All right, so you are witnessing the supernatural. Again, because yesterday, not only did I remain at the Starbucks at 9:57 a.m., and I got on the bus and I went to Pomona. And then I remained in Pomona, and then I came back to Ontario, and I showed you the fake sun that is at the B&G Plaza, and at no time am I walking north up Plum Avenue until a later hour, where I show you the video of the state's fake sun over my head. At that time, you have what is 9:57 a.m., what is remaining over my head stationary at this venue where the state's fake sun remains. And you're going to remember what the state is doing where I'm capturing at 9:57 a.m., which is not the only time the state's fake sun has been present over my head at an earlier hour. But this is just showing the continuity of the documentation, the continuity of purpose of a criminal placement of surveillance, and under that, which is not the actual sun. It is not possibly the actual sun. It is witnessing what is the supernatural. This is Satan itself that is over an environment, exercising control over the environment. It is the supernatural that you're witnessing, and you're also witnessing what is demonic possession, demonic activity. While those who are of that condition, which is demon possession, are maintaining corporate presence all around, doing so under what are company names. That's what McCarthy represents. Omnitrans, that's what Omnitrans represents, and any other company name, as I have already documented as well, and shown you how those criminal elements of monitoring are maintained. In doing so, that is in violation of Title 18, because that's what is the criminal objective of a government placing under surveillance in concert with a people using communication devices to do so. You have what is the impossible placement at any time of the actual sun being my ability to capture it over the address of 215 East C Street, which is the Ovid Family Community Library, whereas I remain at what is 111 North Vineyard Avenue. I get on the bus and I go to the city of Pomona, and I remain there, and I don't return until after 12 p.m. And you have in conflict with that not only documentation that has already been published, but the documentation that I just published yesterday. All right, there is no time where the state's fake sun is remaining at 9:57 a.m. for the duration of the day, which is what the state does with the fake sun, and also remaining over me as I'm traveling 24 hours ago from the Starbucks in Ontario to the Pomona Transit Center in Pomona, California, in Los Angeles County, and then back to the B&G Plaza to walk to the Ovid Family Community Library. That is what is following with a light source, that is stalking with what is indeed a fake sun. It is the witnessing what is impossible and impossible to naturally be occurring. It is nonetheless occurring. You are witnessing the supernatural. It is also to the exclusion of any other location. You will recall what is the state doing in the afternoon and the late evening, maintaining this fake sun in the same position, aiming directed light, pushing it farther and farther into the entrance, into the hallway, into the depths of the library, around the elevator, which is absolutely impossible. This is also what is documentation of what is terrorism, while Satan itself is stalking with light. All right, and the people of the state as well, stalking with light. Demons that are pacing around in directed light in the bathroom, demons that are pacing around in directed light throughout the totality of the building, is the ongoing presence of demons who are engaging in demonic activity, focused on what I do as I do it, and what I do on a communication device, the desktop computer, my cell phone, on the internet, etc. And this is what they're doing on a ceaseless basis, and they're doing it on surveillance cameras. This is relevant to what is the placement of, at 3:57 p.m. yesterday, the state's light source that remains over the venue of the Ovid Family Community Library, and I'm capturing it where the state's fixin is supposedly remaining over me at a Starbucks, remaining over me as I go to Pomona, and yet it's present at 9:57 a.m. to be setting in alignment with the entrance at 4 p.m. as I exit. That is the impossibility of that actually being the sun under any circumstances, and it is also to the exclusion of any other county, let alone state, where you have documentation. Again, 8:14 in the morning, 630 North Fern Avenue is west of the address of 215 E.C. Street, and the state is starting out the day with the fake sun over that address, over me, and then following street for street, turn for turn, to remain over me as I go to that Starbucks, and then as I go to Pomona, and then go to ultimately the B&G Plaza to go what is then walking north to get to the Ovid Family Community Library, which I'm never able to capture the sun being over the Ovid Family Community Library while I'm on transportation, showing you what is the fake sun through the passenger side of that vehicle, showing the B&G Plaza, showing the Circle K at 1850 East Holt Boulevard, etc. All right, this is the pattern of conduct, and that is what I captured on video, and that's the significance of that. That is the intentional conduct of activity creation, as you are listening to it, created by McCarthy, who are demons. That is amplification of audible activity as well. It is also audible activity that is occurring in what is engineered light. You are looking at those demons that are sitting on both sides of me while I'm remaining on the exterior of the library. That is surveillance, and those are demon-possessed stalkers. They are maintaining presence on behalf of the state. They are demons that are engaging in that ongoing maintenance of presence. It is also relevant to what is the criminal activity of the people of the state engaged in obstruction of justice. While there are sex offenders engaging in surveillance in private spaces, such as the bathroom of the Ovid Family Community Library, waging what are false allegations while the pattern of conduct is underway, and also admitting to the fact that they are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring in the bathroom. That's what state surveillance and terrorism is. It is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring in violation of Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. And while they are also admitting to the fact, while they are waging these false allegations, which is, let me be clear, waging such false allegations, engaging in criminal summoning, are the criminal devices of what is criminal defamation, what is fictitious prosecutions, what is kidnapping by an entity engaged in federal stalking. That is the grounds of what is federal prison, and that's period. This venue in and of itself, and you're not just Sean Thrasher, you're talking about the totality of the venue acting to the people of the state in concert with the state that is monitoring with this venue, that is facilitating ongoing surveillance for the duration of my time inside of the venue, such as the Ontario Fire Department, the Ontario Police Department, who are state actors engaging in the surveillance while I am inside of a private space, while I remain inside of the venue, and doing so with malice, while they are engaging in what is sexual violence with those who are over and under the age of majority, just like I documented, and then engaging in what is criminal summoning and the waging of what are false allegations. Those are criminal acts where the pattern of conduct is underway, and they are the devices of the entity that engages in a pattern of kidnapping and criminal defamation, all right, and criminal summoning is pursuant to that. So I want to be clear, it's 10:34 a.m. and the state's fake sun is remaining present at the Ovid Family Community Library. At no time is it ever going to also both remain over the parking lot of the Starbucks, where I'm facing what is east, to show you that light source, and you are looking at what is the maintenance of that light source while I'm there, and then getting on a bus, surpassing what is the property of the Ovid Family Community Library, not even facing that direction while I'm on the public transportation, going toward what is Los Angeles County, and then returning to San Bernardino County. That is the direct evidence of what is the pattern of conduct, and it is the evidence that is speaking to what is federal prison for the people of the state that engage in that sexual violence, that engage in that terrorism while they are engaged in surveillance with the government on behalf of a government, while they are demented psychopaths of demon possession, engaging in that conduct on behalf of Satan itself, that is hovering in a light source over the venue. All right, it's currently 10:35 a.m. and this is P.O.C. All right, with regard to the commercial actors engaging in the pattern of conduct, not only the commercial, but the government actors, state actors acting directly. The moments after I captured this video at 9:57 a.m., the Ontario Fire Department immediately sounds sirens. This is audible activity and directed light while the fake sun is over the library. McCarthy engages in the ongoing maintenance of pacing inside of that structure while I sit in front of the library, and again, not at the entrance area that is facing the 280 North Lemon Apartments, the front area where I was standing, where you see that faces the construction site. These demons of the McCarthy are pacing in this area. This is repeatedly crossing path, and this is the psychopath. This is the conduct of Satan that engages in this pacing conduct in engineered light. United Airlines hovers over the Ovid Family Community Library by aircraft, and also Southwest Airlines hovers over the Ovid Family Community Library where the fake sun is hovering over, and I want to make sure I document that as well. And you have the people of the state that engage in the ongoing pacing around driving at the turn circle, which is pacing. It's not an ordinary person that's making some turn on a street. This is a demonic activity that's underway under a fake sun and indirected light, and it is indeed referred to as that pattern of stalking with light while you're being surrounded with directed light. The people of the state also stalk with light while they use their hazard lights. They engage in all methods of activity creation with light and also audible activity, which is what MacArthur was demonstrating for you in that engineered light. So I want to be clear. Those are the commercial actors and the state actors that engaged in not only is it a show of hostility while demons are monitoring documentation, they're witnessing their own demise, their own prosecution. I want to make sure that I publish that those commercial actors engaged in the P.O.C. as well. As I sat in front and remained. I did not enter until a little after 10 a.m. which would be on surveillance cameras as well. And I do remain subject to surveillance as I enter the private space. Directed light remains inside of that bathroom, which is fully documented as well on video. I want to be clear, the entity is engaging in ongoing demonic activity inside of the venue as I sit at computer desktop number 14 in the computer lab, and demons engage in the ongoing maintenance of audible activity, pacing around. This is walking by the desktop, walking all around, which is the creation of light activity while they have multiple shadows. So you're understanding what they're actually doing. These are demons that are in no way focused on any ordinary conduct. They're not working. They're not focused on book stacks. They're not focusing on organizing meetings or whatever it is that is relevant to being in a library. These are demons that are in the position in a library, engaging in what is surveillance, an entirely demented system, and they're doing it while they have triple and double and triple shadows. All right, and that is the reality of the situation. And I've shown you that light activity, and this is the conduct that they are engaging in. These are absolute psychopaths, and that's what the demon-possessed are. All right, they are animals and violent sex offenders who are also going to federal prison, as I have documented the pattern of criminal summoning at this specific venue, the Ovid Family Community Library. It's currently 10:38 a.m., and that is P.O.C. 6:05 p.m. The state is sounding helicopter activity. You have a line of demons that are coming. I'm going to document all of them. Wells Fargo engaged in P.O.C. as well. They're parked in the parking lot. State sounds helicopter activity. Direct the lights surrounds. Here comes the minions. License plate 8NJM568. License plate 7TPA418. These are stalkers. They're sitting around in the parking lot and driving around, and literally it's like the double dutch. You're talking about what is maintaining presence. These demons are doing nothing but maintaining presence, ongoing surveillance. And so as I walk out, then you'll have one that's already driving. They'll take their turn and just drive down the street. The state is sounding helicopter activity. That's not a coincidence. It's ongoing concerted activity while I'm molested with directed light. That is the P.O.C. 8MWN589, 8SZK629, AS526 handicap, 7SAY106. And this is exactly what the state was doing last night as I document on my podcast, and the state continued to fly around in circles. That's a demon doing so while I'm being molested with directed light. This is ongoing terrorism, psychopaths engaging in that conduct. The state engaged in circling around the vehicle at 630 Fern while I'm sitting in that vehicle for an excess of 15 to 20 minutes. 7HSD994. And again, as I document that conduct, the entity engages in more of it. So literally, as I get on my podcast and I publish the entity engaging in stalking helicopter, after I record it, the entity engages in repeating that conduct. And that's relevant to the prosecution and federal prison. It's currently 6:06 p.m. 5DNZ902. And I did capture an image of what is a little minionite. And this little prepubescent, little demon-possessed stalker, communication device in hand. She's stalking at the doorway for purposes of maintaining presence in the path as I walk out of the library. And the P.O.C. is I've been sitting down inside a library all day long. I showed what is the fake sun by virtue of the presence of that which is not possibly the sun at 9:57 a.m. That is speaking to not only what I reminded you of on my YouTube channel my YouTube channel, thepatternofconduct.com. I referenced what was yesterday, 2022, January 30th, 2022. Because that's what I'm speaking to, but it's also, again, my documentation is spreading across a term of years where the entity has been engaging in this. And this is Satan that is engaging in stalking with a light source. Satan is present through the environment. All right, Satan is a spirit. Satan is all around. So you're talking about what is not global warming. Global warming has nothing to do with the fact that while I'm on a bus, okay, after 10 o'clock in the morning, after remaining at Starbucks at 111 North Vineyard Avenue, and I'm facing south on a vehicle in motion that is south of the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, I am showing you what is supposed to be the sun in motion. And this is after 9:57. This is after 10 o'clock. And then I go to Pomona. I don't even go toward the Ovid Family Community Library. And I go to the Ovid Family Community Library today at 9:57 a.m. The fake sun is north of the location where I'm at, while I am facing south. All right. So I am facing the direction of the B&G Plaza, right? But the Ovid Family Community Library is what is north of the B&G Plaza. So my back is to the Ovid Family Community Library while I'm on the bus yesterday after 10 o'clock in the morning. It's after 10:40. I got on the bus well after 10:30 in the morning, okay? And I'm showing you what is the fake sun that is over the B&G Plaza. It is not over the Ovid Family Community Library. If I am facing the B&G Plaza, it is not also over my head and over the Metro 102 apartment. That's not possible. That's what I'm saying. That has nothing to do with global warming. Okay, absolutely nothing. That is literally the placement in a different position at a different location, in no way mutually coexisting at the same time. All right, you are either to the back of me or you're to the front of me. You're talking about what is the sun, period. If this is supposedly the sun, then the sun would be over the library, just like I showed this morning, and it was not. I remained, first of all, at Starbucks in the parking lot. I'm showing you these demons at that venue. That is in no way, again, my back is toward what is the direction of the Ovid Family Community Library, and I wouldn't even be able to see that light source. But let alone, I'm talking about well after I left Starbucks. I'm on the bus, and I'm going to Pomona. I don't get off the bus and walk up Lemon Avenue to go to the library. I go to Pomona, and I did that for a reason. Okay, the entity could try to shut down all the libraries all they want, trying to limit the locations where I go to, where I'm working on my case. This is the defeatist and the futile conduct of a government that's witnessing its own demise and its own prosecution and humiliation. Satan itself is being revealed. Okay, so I want to be clear. Like I said, it is not only relevant to yesterday, where I was nowhere near the city of Ontario. You were talking about what is going to what is Los Angeles. Pomona is in Los Angeles County. Coming nowhere near the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library by virtue of my being present here at 9:57 a.m. And I'm showing you what's over my head. Let me get this demon, because while you hear Satan having a rage, communicating fury through what is supposed to be the sound of an engine, that's called amplification, and this demon is monitoring to that license plate 7BNC 538. And you understand how Satan is communicating not only hostility. Satan is a psychopath, and Satan is a sore loser. Satan is represented by every single last one of these minions that I continue to literally catalog and speak to all the ways I'm going to prosecute them. So I want to be clear that loud engine, that's called amplification of audible activity while I'm being molested with directed light, and pay attention to when you hear it while I'm telling you about the fact, all right, that this entity tries to dwindle down the locations that I have available to go to. That's what Fontana Lewis Library is about. That's what that's about. That's what Starbucks is about. And then when I document one, then all of the Starbucks around will click. That is literally what is going on. These are minions. All right, and you're talking about what is the conduct of a government. So they're all acting together. Like I said, you can have 1,000,001 minions. Guess what? All 1,000,001 of them are going down together. All of them. One foul swoop. So anyway, you have what is, again, let me be clear, 2020. All right, my documentation begins before 2020, but like I said, 2020, after 12 p.m., I'm showing you again what is the following conduct with that which is not possibly the sun at 12:07 and 12:09. And you're also witnessing what is the absence of any light source that, first of all, would ever be remaining, but let alone it's not even present over this location of the 280 North Lemon Apartments and the library at after 12 p.m. Okay, and so 7KAB479 is going to be prosecuted with that demon that's flying over me by helicopter right now, in addition to 7YPV001. That's a female with black hair, looks like an Asian female, and they're going to be prosecuted together. All right, my shadow is in front of me. while I'm looking at the license plate 7KAB479 parked at the Ontario Town Square Townhomes, while you hear that audible activity of that demon that is flying a helicopter, and that demon that's flying a helicopter is monitoring with this third party 7KAB479. And that's exactly why I spelled out for you and reminded you about all the third parties and relevant to the apartment building complexes, because all of those minions that live there are monitoring, engaging in state surveillance. They're monitoring with communication devices, while that same entity that you heard right now is stalking me where I sleep in a vehicle, where Tracy Banks is monitoring me with the rest of the minions whose name I don't need to know. All right, you're understanding what is Satan operating through a people, operating through a puppet that literally is flying over me and does the same thing on a nightly basis at 630 North Fern, where I'm inside of a vehicle. Okay, where directed light is also presence, the absence of coincidence. Alrighty, so like I said, in the same way that I'm able to capture Union Pacific under the fake sun at the Pomona Transit Center, that is the prosecution of that commercial actor engaging in terrorism as well. That is why and how you know when I capture a fake sun, because that's exactly what that is, and that's exactly what that leads to. Being over the Ovid Family Community Library at 9:57 a.m. when I am nowhere near this location. I go from Starbucks to the city of Pomona, and I don't come here until after 12, and I show you that in video. And then you have what is placement at 9:57 a.m. That in and of itself is the P.O.C. I just want to be clear. And so that is the video documentation that I published this morning. But again, that's not this is cumulative. It's ongoing. I've already established this. You are talking about what is the prosecution of a government that literally, as the state flies over me by helicopter, you're talking about what is going to the ongoing intensification of third parties who are going to federal prison, who work at the Ovid Family Community Library, who are documented as engaged in presence, waging false assertions. They're going to federal prison, okay? While the state flies over me in helicopter across the entranceway from that venue, all right, where they're monitoring me while my panties are down. That's what the state is doing for its entity that it's monitoring me with, okay? And that is how you slice down an entity that's engaged in criminal surveillance and terrorism. Speaking of which, here's another demon. I will be getting this license plate right now. 7BNC538. The other thing I want to remind you about is that 2020, and it's not just January 31st, 2020. January 17th, 2020 remains relevant. License 6JZD718. And I'm just giving you a date just so you know. You're talking about what is time of year, time of day, looking common sense even on one single day, where the state is keeping a fake sun from 9 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the evening. I don't think so. That's not the sun either. All right. Now, when you want to suggest that the sun is a single star that's over the state of Nevada as well, it's not when it's remaining in front of the entrance of Ovid Family Community Library. No, it's not. It's asininity. Even try to suggest that. That is the exclusivity of what is remaining, what is not possibly the sun. 8JYY941. And that's how you're witnessing the supernatural. The impossibility is actually occurring because that is both a fake sun and it is also impossible to be the sun. While, by the way, the state of Nevada has a light source in the sky. Okay, that's Satan itself that's present in the environment, and that's what you're understanding. 6 U.S.C. 123. It's a license plate. And so that's what I documented today. And that's all I needed to document. I'm sorry, I didn't even need to document that. The pattern of conduct is ceaseless. I'm very thorough because I'm going to prosecute and I am placing in federal prison. I have a list, okay? They're going to federal prison, and it's not some personal vendetta. It is a matter of what is uniform policy. The government is a criminal, a sex offender, is a terrorist, and is engaging in what is all manner of obstruction of justice, wanting to engage in kidnapping, defaming, oppressing in every way, one who wants to assert their constitutional and human rights. That's what is the pattern of conduct as I revealed it to you. That is what is serving to be addressed by legislation that I propose. Because Title 18, Section 22618, subsections 1 and 2, while it is addressing what this government is currently doing, engaging in what is the criminal placement of surveillance of an American citizen, and doing so in an unprecedented manner. All right, you're talking about an entirety of a people. It doesn't matter what zip code. That's why I can go to Pomona on any random day and show you the ongoing P.O.C. I can show you what is the identical behavioral patterns among strangers. You don't need to know their name. It's his conduct on behalf of Satan. Satan is acting through a government and a people. So you're criminalizing that conduct, which is entirely demented. That is terrorism. 5 CCB 286. 8EZK727. And by the way, while the state's flying over me by helicopter like it was doing for a prolonged period at 630 North Fern, as I document on my podcast, I do have 3 shadows in front of me, where 8RHB328 is stalking in the parking lot of Ontario Town Square right now at 6:16 p.m. 8URU534. 5YTE563. And they've also been loitering while the state is flying over me, which is an act of terrorism. while I'm being molested. That is a prosecution of 8 RHB 328 as a sex offender and a terrorist, stalking in relevant position on behalf of an entity, exercising no First Amendment rights to be in the path on behalf of a government, which is facilitation, and no claim of ignorance is any legal excuse. This is a Latino male. 8 RHB 328. It's currently 6:17 p.m. Alrighty, it is 6:17 p.m. I did capture images of that stalker maintaining presence. While you have 3 shadows, you can say whatever you want in court. You're going to be prosecuted. You're dealing with demons. All right, so you can call it, I don't know, Erica Lorraine Spencer. Guess what? Those 3 shadows that are surrounding me speaks otherwise. 6GNA 998. That stalking conduct by the state over my head by helicopter speaks otherwise. 7LPL 136. 7RXD 566. It's currently 6:17 p.m. All right, got a line of demons coming to get theirs. 8 BHA 401, 8 SLW 500, 8 GHA 500, P.O.C. This is a lily white woman monitoring a demon. The shadow of her vehicle, she has 4 of them. 2 shadows of the vehicle on the driver's side, 2 shadows of the vehicle on the passenger side. That's a demon. Okay, and she's a stalker. Satan acting through black people, Satan acting through white people. It does not matter the race. 6LGV823. Satan wants you to be distracted with race. It has nothing to do with race. 7JXR324. 5CGX505. 8YHH114. 7RAV045. Yeah, I read that one. And it's currently 6:18 p.m. P.O.C. at Motor Inn, located at 111 North Lemon Avenue. Demon aiming light at that property. That's a facilitating venue, and that's also how you can document any venue, especially as third parties such as mail carriers, such as On Track or UPS, or you pick. Okay, they will go to deliver a package that's supposed to be that demon's form. All right, and so you're talking about you perhaps don't know the license plate, you can't get to, all you have to do is identify where you're at, identify the address where they're going to deliver. Those demons are monitoring together, and that is going to what is Motor Inn. Aiming light, the same demonic stalking in the path with light, and it's at third party facilitating venue Motor Inn, and it's currently 6:20 p.m. 76530H1 BGN263 6KJJ224, I believe. 6FYZ524, excuse me. It's 6:20 p.m. License plate 5JAV037 18120Y2. A license plate 8TFP929. And directed light moving across Enrique's income tax while another demon drives the opposite direction. That's documentation of that demon whose license plate I did read. They're pathetic. License plate 7TAP328. It's 6:21 p.m. Minions lined up to be documented at Andy's Burgers. Stalking while they're sitting in a drive-thru. That's exactly what they're doing. That's what the government is doing through them. 6GYD174. I believe. 6GYD174. That's correct. License plate 48FAN. Documented them before. 7VYF862. They used to like to park at the museum. As I was sleeping there, I have 3 shadows in front of me, one behind me on my right, and another one behind me on my left. By the way, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shadows. License 4ZAL826 15802J1. You think being in a drive-thru like you're consumed with ordering a burger while I have 5 shadows is any legal form, then you are woefully unprepared for that which is coming, Satan. License 8MSW619 8KMF056 B6KITTY. The state just flew over my head again in another helicopter. This is what I mean. Woefully unprepared. License 8GBL119. License 8XTU927 8CKC636. Group stalking on Emporia. A demon facing the wall. Oh my goodness. Just like I showed you with the truck. And that demon hopped in their truck, tried to run away so fast, so quick. When they heard me identify them, because they're demons that are focused on me. And they're psychopaths sitting around in their cars at nightfall, aiming light. Freaks, okay? That is Satan. 8YDC798. 5DXN614. That speaks to what is relevant positioning. Understand that. That's what that's relevant to. They are far out and beyond my immediate environment as I document. And that is speaking to more that's going to be documented. I just tell you where I'm at. I do document who was in relevant position, but more are going to be prosecuted. You're talking about what is the zone of relevant positioning. 94573K1, 67775W1, 7GTT675, 8UIH217, and there's more than one way to document. Like I said, my podcast and my videos, etc., is not the limit. Is not in any way limited with regard to prosecuting the government. This is sending out an alarm, speaking to what is the reality of what the government is doing, speaking to the reality of demonic activity, and the ways in which you're going to harness that animal. 5XBX732, 8LRD613, 7MBK664, 88NJ758, 79838W2, 7ZZM956, 8XTU927, in case I didn't read that one already, 7DSM867, 8TPZ734, 7WVM833, 8EJ8, 21946C3, 7LQV359, 8HNC933, 7HIU451, 7M61489, and I'm reading the ones that are in the parking lot of B&G Plaza. 26532T2. It is 6:24 p.m. 8P12439, 8ATY395, BT48B78. All right, this demon over here stalking with activity. The activity that they created is light activity. Doing so as I press the screen on my phone to start recording again, to record this license plate of this third party. And you hear the car door closure. They're getting in their vehicle. They're using it as a means of stalking with light. Monitoring with the demons already parked in front of Shiro's Liquor and Next Insurance. They're surrounding with light. 7TQT803 is that demon's license plate. Ooh, boy. Anyway, license plate. Alrighty, is that Omnitrans? Yeah, you know it. That's Omnitrans. Monitoring with these minions who I'm going to identify. 5SET574, 6VNH589, 7GVG158, 5CUT638, 7HCM281, 7JBH182, 8WSA799, 7FOD931, 7VJE484. Omnitrans, bus number 1222. Route 61 going eastbound on Hope Boulevard right now. License 1234515, and they hit the curb because they're so focused on me. That's exactly why they just hit the curb right now. And all those minions on that bus are monitoring as well. It's not just Omnitrans. Okay, the people of the state fill that bus to engage in ongoing demented group conduct with communication devices. It's 626. All right, license 08471E3. This is Eco Environmental Cleaning Organization, LLC. I did capture what is molestation by this third party driving that commercial vehicle at the driveway, and they're loitering at the driveway. So they're, instead of just driving it on, entering on, which is still a molestation while they maintain regular speed to slow down and enter, they are driving slow, loiter at what is this driveway in order to continue aiming light. And while I'm doing so, I'm talking on the phone to third party Tracy Banks. So they're monitoring and they're engaging in this ominous stalking conduct, slowing down, obviously engaged in the P.O.C, not even engaging in that effort to try to appear as that passive aggressive. This is the conduct of demons, acting like they're doing something else, not even acting like they're trying to do, like clearly engaging in what is terrorism. All right, slowing down at the driveway. I do capture an image of this group stalker. That is a molestation, and that is a license plate. Again, that's Eco Environmental Cleaning, now maintaining light inside of the parking lot of the Shiro's Liquor side of the B&G Plaza. All right, monitoring with that third party. Let me get these license plates. This is a paper plate, BM76U36. And 92733H2. All right, so creating light using beauty salon. They're loitering over here. It's 6:31 p.m. I want to be clear, they're congregating over here by the Clinic of Medica, California. That's a third-party facilitating venue. Standing out in front of any venue, any business address. This is how you're going to prosecute any and every method of engaging in the P.O.C. You want to loiter in the Citibank parking lot? Citibank's going to be prosecuted, whether they're open or they're closed. Citibank can take it up with the government that's monitoring through the demon-possessed people of the state. But let me be clear, Citibank is in on the jig as well. That's how you're slicing down an entity. So you prosecute the address wherever they are engaging in relevant positioning and pacing around like the psychopaths that they are, while they're maintaining a perimeter of light, which is exactly what Echo Environmental LLC is engaging in. It's currently 6:31 p.m. What's your bitch ass license plate? License 7WHU 692. Okay, license 7HCG 459. 6PDK 1. I'll get that in a second. I remain at B&G Plaza. 5PDK 195. SSF 753. License plate. See, 6PTS 255, 8AYT 596, 8GWP 469, LTSY 863, I believe. 4SNJ 773. It is 6:53 p.m. The 7TJT 545, 8MUB 992, EPO 9630 or 360. That's TCS. TCS. Tom, Charlie, Sam. That's a large coach coming from Plum and turning east onto Hope Boulevard at 6:53 p.m. $6K Z. I can't really see that one. Let me just grab some. License plate BETU 991, 7ZZM 956, IENDN, all of them molesting. Meeting at the driveway. The driveway of the B&G Plaza. License 7K YW 911. Oh, I can't see that one. Just go top. 6FTT 458 1268. You can scratch the rest of that one. I can't see it. 7NRV 499. 7TZCO16. 8JSK 443. 7TXN 256. 8XVS. I can't really see that one. You can scratch that one. This is Aguars Towing 03588T2, excuse me. 74222Z1, I believe. 7KYW911. Yeah, that's right. 7LQV359. 8JHF024. 8BMD 540, 7UQW, I can't see the rest of them. 3NBN 165, that's NBN. 8SNZ 903. .034, I can't see that one. BLA2AK, 8XNR540, 7UTZ 279, 7CVV 652, 8SFV 328, that's the Ontario Fire Department, and directed light. License 3WTV 183. Monitoring with the fire department is license plate 7MBW035. Heart MZPLAT. Again, that's Heart MZPLAT. And license plates 6PXX138. All of them monitoring with the fire department. This demon just sitting in the middle of the intersection, monitoring with the fire department. License plate 02121R2. And let's see, 8DKF930 at the window of Andy's Burgers. Monitoring with the fire department. That's creating audible activity and light activity. Stalking in the path. Everybody said demons to be snatched out of those positions. Literally driving around like psychopaths in fire trucks. Not like psychopaths, they are psychopaths. But if you get that in your mind, it's literally a demon that is out of its mind, stalking an American citizen who is prosecuting it. And then identifying the people that are monitoring with it. Literally surrounded with evidence. License plate 8XNR540. I think I read that one already. They just came around and went into the drive-thru. 7KLN 796, 5JVA 037, 6XGN 476, 8WJT 633, 8GQS 276, 8THC 553, 8RKV 819, 7MHH931, 7BTJ448, 6MYK784, 7MBW075, I believe. I read that one already. That was monitoring with the fire department. This entire time sitting at a red light, which the state is controlling the lights. It's a maintenance of position while I'm standing on the sidewalk. 8KTW365. It's 7 p.m. on the dot. Enrique's income tax and relevant position, just like they were last night where I showed you that light activity that's at that property. License plate. 6, I can't really see them. And the state flying over Enrique's income tax. And Enrique's income tax again located at 230 West Holt Boulevard, East Holt Boulevard, Ontario, California. 7ZCL 485. enhanced amplification of audible activity. License 7FLZ 723. ANG 070. Yeah. 7 U.C. 128 69157R1 7 SKC 549 8 RQF 534 5 UAD 410 8 MUR 321 7 DZC 213 7 HHS 488 8 TRY 870 8 EKX 015 8 YGL 539 7 ZPV 122 6 MLH 665. All monitoring with the entity that's hovering over Enrique's income tax where I'm standing at the intersection of Plum and Hull, seconds apart. 7 AOF 349 6 FMW 246 8 CKU 779 8 EBK 837 8 LTN 665 7 HIP 912 taking images of what is my shadow surrounding me while this demon of Enrique's income tax is listening to me document so they come out to engage in more relevant positioning. 8 APN 408, watering the plants outside of the building in directed light as P.O.C. It's also an act of hostility to engage in more of the pattern of conduct while these demons listen to me document them. Enrique's income tax probably doesn't even have enough funds to make it to a federal prosecution. All right, but I want to document that at 7:03 p.m. Fake sign is over Enrique's income tax. Directed light molestation in front of Enrique's tax. Enrique's income tax is heavily documented. 34516H3, 7EZP 194, 7V45882, 8KNW 093, 6RQB 870, I believe, 8GGN 981. This is, 6BQB 870, yeah, 7DEL 782. 8ZGC 310, 7NQH 248, 45050, 7DBW 821, 8KFT 809, 8JPS 873, 7VWT 722, I believe, 8B735L2, I believe, paper, 8FUB 562, 8RNV 488, 6 S.I.I.S 082, 8 KTN 640, 5 GIW 717, 8 PDS 456, 8 HSB 223, I believe. It's 7:05 p.m. 8 MLN 958. 8 ETU 991. 8 FVA 463, 6 WRB 133. I can't really see that. Let me switch that. 8 PDV 005, 5 BRZ 464, I believe. Excuse me. K10 4079, that's a Texas plate on Los Limousines. 6B 18299, 17278T2, 8 TFJ 075, 8 XOS 899. 8VZF 622, and Los Limousines is a large coach. 3ROK 687, 8XPW 668, 8RFB 071, 6XTJ 456, 8KXN 231, VALDZS, 7HYJ 837, 8MIV 571, 7VQK 609, 6CSP 954. It's 7:07 p.m. 8WLY 831. License 7SYF 766. EKP LMP 7BBP 946, W408TO, excuse me, 8UXM 301, 7E99246, 7TPA 439, 8VXW 878, 8YCF 483, excuse me, 7GTX 308, 8K92575, 55589Z1, 6GRJ 440. And Enrique's income tax is maintain relevant position by coming outside of their venue to maintain relevant positioning with standing behind me, watering their plants, stalking in the path. 8SGF 857. 5NDA 547. This is a heavy set female with shoulder length black hair. I'm sorry, dark brown hair. 5NDA 547. Because I read that one already. Doing so in direct light. You can water your plants all you want. In direct light, it's P.O.C. 5RZP 337. 8BNJ 586. License 25286T1. FTD. I can't see the rest of them. Six CTN 016, I believe. You can scratch that one. I can't see that clearly. 7ROU 842. 6FDX 734. And it's 7:10 p.m. 4WON 432 at Plum and Holt Boulevard. 8. I can't see those. Alrighty, P.O.C. (31266H1) 8DVS 886 1545798. That's Omnitrans. 7LLP 605.
It tastes good.
8NUA 215. 5COU 300.
Nice.
8SVS 284. 8ULK 303. All right, this third party, this is the demon monitoring with the state that is flying over repeatedly several times by helicopter and is aiming light inside of the vehicle, which again, this is not only headlights that's being concentrated into a car. Let me be clear, this is a demon. And as I show you the pattern of stalking with light, this demon is aiming light onto the car, and it is also what is engineered light because it's impossible light activity while it's also reflecting into the back of the car. And so while I'm moving in the car, my shadow is appearing in the back seat. This is terrorism, and this is an absolute psychopath. I took a picture of that. This is license 8GLE030, monitoring with 630 North Fern Avenue, molesting with light as well, and the state flying over in excess of 5 times by helicopter as well. Again, 8GLE030. It's currently 10:07 p.m. License plate 21209C2. 4MPF488, 8NAW854, 6YOX838, and of course the venues of 325 West G Street, 403 West G Street, 621 North Fern, 711 at 636 North Vine Avenue, Courtyard Villas, 6 P.O.C. 481. I'm going to prosecute them for that. 7 UVA 182. That's exactly the grounds for literally being placed into the mental ward in straitjackets, because that's what's wrong with the demon possessed that engage in that terrorism. And this is a demon that knows that I'm inside of that vehicle, sleeping inside of that vehicle, and is literally sitting behind, concentrating light like a psychopath. Okay, that's what I captured, and has been doing so for a prolonged period of time. 6XXT119. I want to be clear, this is what the entity is doing on a constant basis. This is what I'm documenting, where directed light is being shot into the car on an ongoing basis. While you see directed light while I'm standing outside under the fake sun, this is what these demons are doing. That's the objective while I'm inside of a vehicle at nightfall. All right, license plate. Let's see, I don't see a license plate on this. That is Union Pacific as audible activity, which is impossible audible activity. License 5BYJ743, 5YVY873. A man and a woman get out of that car. It is currently 10:09 p.m. That's audible activity. While those minions get out of that vehicle and are standing around there on directed light. Those are 2 demons. Absolute psychopaths. They're going to mental wards. Alrighty, the male is wearing some super short black shorts up his thighs with some black tennis shoes, and she's wearing the female that he's with has shoulder length hair, brunette hair, and a long white sweater coat that goes down to the floor like a long coat, long sleeve, long coat. I took a picture of that. They've been sitting in the vehicle and concentrating light into the car. I cannot in any way stress anymore, but I've shown you what the pattern of conduct. You are talking about freaks of nature. That is Satan itself in operation, and that is Satan acting over people. Let me be clear. These demons know exactly what they're doing. These are psychopaths that engage in that terrorism, that stalking conduct, focused on me, absolutely demented. License 8UCP797. And I want to document 323 West G Street. Walking over toward this venue with that address, license plate 66598S2, license 6RMB677. And I also captured images of that location where they walked into that address on that venue is 323 West G Street. It's right next to 325 West G Street. It is 10:11 p.m. And that is what is that's the terrorism, because the people of the state do this on a corporate basis. And like I stated, you have what is the entity flying in excess of 5 times by helicopter. And it's like, it's not really in excess of 5 separate times. It's just, I hear it on several different occasions, but the state is not going anywhere by helicopter. The state is stalking right now by helicopter. All right, you're talking about what is the creation of audible activity. which is also the communication of a threat, in the same way that, for example, law enforcement, they're stalking. This is state surveillance, and it is ceaseless. You have what is engaging in, what is visibly engaging in that pattern of conduct that they are always engaging in, which is the communication of that terrorizing threat. All right, those third parties that go to that venue of 323 West G Street, and I also read the license plate parked at that venue, is again 8GLE030. That is terrorism documented by them. They're acting on behalf of the people, acting on behalf of the state. Those specific third parties, though, I'm going to prosecute them. All right, that is the prosecution that's relevant to how you are going to deal with what are engaging in what is terrorism, and showing the ongoing threat that they pose, being of that demented condition. All right, while you're engaging in this demonic conduct, focusing light onto a vehicle that is entirely threatening conduct, while you're also monitoring the documentation. That's what the entity is doing, and that's what demons are aware of. And they're just sitting there, concentrating light, precisely aimed into the car that is also bouncing into the back of the car. It's absolutely impossible light, and it's absolutely sick conduct, entirely demented. All right, and that is what Satan is doing. That's what literally they are doing on behalf of the government that's monitoring. It's 10:13 p.m., and that's the people of the state of California.